Hey dudes! Welcome back to another Monster Hobbies unboxing video. Today we're checking out the groovy 60s with this 1968 AMT Pontiac GTO. Far out, man! This is a Craftsman series kit that I'm sure you're gonna find really groovy. So without any more delays, let's check it out. Now let's slip back in time, man, with this amazing 1968 Pontiac GTO hardtop. This is part of the Cats collection. Classic vintage kits reimagined with all new tooling. This is a curbside style model kit, man, so that means the engine is missing. The engine is missing? No, man, it's gone. On this side of the box, we see a wonderful illustration of the front three-quarter view of our 68 GTO, and it's looking groovy in orange. Now moving across the side here, slipping over, we've got our all-new tooling, authentic details, colorful decals, low parts count, and it's fun to build. And on this side of the box, we've got a rear three-quarter view in amazing powder blue, and on this side here, we have two-wheel options, pad-printed red line tires, side view mirror, engine plate, and it's easy to assemble. But I'm asking you, man, where's the flower power in this? Where are the flower decals? And underneath, we have a full look at all our parts printed on the back of the box. This uses glue and paint for a skill level 2 kit for ages 14 and up. Far out! And now's the time for action, man. It's time to stop talking like hippies and open up the lid of this box. So let's do that. Alright, so with the box removed, we can see our amazing car parts here. We have the body of our 68 GTO, again with the wonderful front panel molded in that has our radiator support as well as the protective radiator shroud. Amazing stuff. Here's our glass and clear components. We also have our chrome in there with the two different wheels, if you saw that. A bag containing the rest of our white plastic parts. We've got our wheels with the red line tires, our instructions, and our decals, which we'll reveal at the end of the video. And here we have our instruction sheet, and always remember to read this before you begin. Now, assembly step 1 in this instruction sheet is quite different from the other two Craftsman series kits that we saw in previous videos. We start right away with the chassis assembly, and here we have our engine plug going into the chassis. We also have our right and left hand side axle blocks with the plastic axle pin going through, so make sure this hole is opened up enough so that these can rotate freely inside. And then at the back we have these wonderful bars being glued into place, as well as axle blocks in the back. Down below, we see our front and rear wheels being put together, We have the chrome stock wheel being glued in place, as well as these Pontiac Rally wheels, which is the option. And we got our tire and our wheel backs, and then these will go onto the axles. This one gets the axle put into one wheel, slipped through, and then the opposite wheel gets pushed in on the axle, just to keep everything locked in place. Assembly step 2 shows our interior again with a bucket with the center console molded in place. A gear stick lever goes into the hole, and then we've got both right and left hand bucket seats going in place. We have our steering wheel, steering column, and our dashboard. Assembly step 3 shows the front windshield and rear glass being glued in place. There are some pins in the body, and those go into the holes in the glass. And then our body, interior, and undercarriage all get assembled together, pinched into place. There are tubes on the chassis which go into these pins, and there should be pins underneath here on the chassis which would go into tubes on the bottom of our interior tub. Assembly step 4 shows our front enduro bumper being glued into place, and here we have the grills going in from behind, and then our transparent turn signal lights being glued into place here and here. Then we can see our hood being put in place. Now there is no engine, but if you can find one somewhere in your parts box, you can always install it. So our hood goes into place. If you don't want the engine, glue the hood down. There is the optional hood-mounted tachometer, which would go into here. And then out back, we have our red transparent taillights going in place onto the giant chrome bumper, which then mounts onto the back of the car. And to wrap it all up, we have our side view mirror being glued into place. Now let's take a look at our wonderful body. And like I was saying as I took this out of the box, it is really cool that we get the front support in here, as well as the fan shroud. Again, really amazing detail. This is all boxed up so that your hood won't fall through. Now, underneath here, you would have your vents from your cowl, and in these years, the later 60s, the hood actually covered those, and the windshield wipers were underneath and came up from under the hood, much like on my 72 Oldsmobile, which was originally designed in 1968 as well. Now, off the side, we have the GTO script with the Pontiac arrowhead, and this also acted as a side marker light, which was really cool. It was red inside the arrowhead. We have our door latch handle here, as well as the old GTO emblem down below. Again, really cool stuff. The front is wide open, of course, because our front enduro bumper is going to go in there. I do believe it was one of the first impact bumpers, but it was all rubber kind of up in there. And then out back we have a GTO emblem in there. Up underneath you can see mold marks, so you'd have to fill those. But again, there's those pins for mounting the windows in place. Overall, though, this is quite an excellent one-piece body, and this detail up front makes all the difference, especially if you're going to put in an engine. Next up we have our chassis pan, and this is another amazing little detail. Here we have the full perimeter frame. We've got our rear differential molded in place, as well as our drive shaft. We have exhaust pipes and mufflers, as well as mufflers on the back. Again, you can drill these out just to open them up and make them look nice. Here's the little holes for our radius rods to go into place. Again, excellent detail. You can see all the bolts along the side here. Really beautiful looking stuff. Flipping it over, we have the tubes as well as the pins for mounting your interior and the front engine plug. Our next parts tree includes our wheel backs as well as the interior bucket. Again, being a tub interior, you don't get much detail for your window cranks. They should actually look like this, but you're only going to get that level of detail if these side panels are molded separately. Unfortunately, they are not. But I do love the upholstery pattern on that back seat. It looks really cool. Here we have a standard car because we've got our gas pedal, our brake pedal, our clutch, and we even have a parking brake right there. Pedal for a parking brake. Again, wonderful detail. The wheel backs look like traditional AMT wheel backs for metal axles. And boy, you're going to have to clean this up because there is some mold release agent in here, which means it'll be on the other side as well. But again, really excellent detail in this and will look good sitting on your shelf. On this parts tree, we have the rest of our white plastic components. We have these arms in here. We also have our bucket seats up front, our dashboard, and the front enduro bumper. And this is nice here. They put that roll bar loop in there so that this doesn't get crunched. We also have our hood. We have our steering wheel, the rear axle blocks, the front axle blocks and pins, our steering column, and the optional hood-mounted tachometer. And then here we have the engine plug with our Pontiac motor. Now looking at this, wonderful work in here. We do not have the raised instruments in here, so that means a decal would go into there. But again, really excellent work. Not too many 68 GTOs on the market. I think Monogram is the one that has the other one, or now known as Revell, because Revell and Monogram are both the same company. Here we have the little vents for our cowl. We also have the hood scoops in there. Again, wonderful looking work. Up underneath, mold marks. There are two little holes molded under the hood, so you would drill those through in order to mount your tack on there. Again, mold marks, you'd need to clean them up, but not bad at all. I don't think anything would interfere with any of the other parts in assembly because of the mold marks. Again, wonderful stuff. Here we have our wonderful chrome parts tree, and what we have is the wonderful wheels. These are the old rally wheels, and right here we have the Magnum 500 style wheel. We have our gear stick lever, our nice beautiful chrome rear bumper, our front chrome grills, and these wonderful side mirrors, which are again protected by this roll bar arrangement from them getting broken out of the parts tree. So taking a look at these, you can see that the wheels are wide open off the back, so that is again beautiful. Make sure you paint your wheel back black so that you can see the holes. There's the beautiful chrome bumper, wonderful grille with the GTO letters right in there. Off the back there are mold marks, but you can easily remove them and paint back in here with some silver or aluminum or even black just to cover up where the chrome got removed. Wheels look really neat from the back end here again, but overall the chrome looks nice and thick and wonderful. Here we have our glass components, which consist of the front windshield and rear glass. You can see some mold marks up along the top and bottom, but hopefully those will be covered up in the headliner. And then we've got our wonderful side marker lights, turn signal lights, as well as these very visible rear tail lights. And these are quite nice because you actually get the raised detail in here. And I'm not 100% sure if these are, wrapped in some chrome or aluminum. I'll have to take a look at those online a little later. But overall, again, the pattern in here is quite nice. You can see the reflective details. Very beautifully done by AMT. Here we have our red line tires. And again, these remind me of Johan style tires. And I think the reason why is because I think Johan might have been one of the first manufacturers to actually pad print on red and white wall tires. Now, don't quote me on that, but that's just a feeling I have. These ones are a lot thicker than the Malibu and GTO wheels, and you can see the wonderful tread pattern in here. Again, remarkable. Now, like these other tires, there are no manufacturer names on here like Goodyear or Firestone, but overall, I do think these do look wonderful. And finally, we have our last detail, which is our decal sheet. And now for the big reveal. And there we go. Again, we've got wonderful pinstripes on here. We have the Ram Air 4 decal, which would go on the sides of those scoops. And then here we have our Pontiac Arrowhead emblems, Go Goat from Michigan, and a GTO 400 from California, and then that GER license plate again. We have the Ram Air in black as well as white to match the pinstripes, depending on which way you want to paint your car. We have the centers of those wonderful old rally wheels, as well as GTO script in white and black, and some in chrome down here. Here we have the gauges for our instrument panel. You get 2 of each. So we have our engine temperature one, we've got our speedometer as well as the clock, and then we've got the decals for the sides. So again, you can use these in various other model kits because you get 2 of each. Well, I hope you enjoyed that really groovy video, man. And if you love these amazing YouTube videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with all your friends and family. Hit that join button if you want to help us out in the future. Now, if you dig really awesome model kits and you want some of your own, check out our website, www.monster-hobbies.ca, where you can find some amazing model car kits at a groovy, low Canadian price. So until next time, everybody, peace out.